Firefighters work to put out a fire at energy infrastructure facilities damaged by Russian drone strike as Russia's attack on Ukraine continues in Kyiv region, Ukraine, October 31, 2022, Reuters. President Vladimir Putin said Russian strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure and a decision to freeze participation in a Black Sea grain export program were responses to a drone attack on Moscow's fleet in Crimea that he blamed on Ukraine. Putin told a news conference on Monday that Ukrainian drones had used the same marine corridors that grain ships transited under the UN-brokered deal. Kyiv has not claimed responsibility for the attack and denies using the grain program security corridor for military purposes. The United Nations said no grain ships were using the Black Sea route on Saturday when Russia said its vessels in Crimea were attacked. Meanwhile, on the 250th day of a war that has ground on since Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24, Russian missiles rained down across the country. Explosions boomed out in Kyiv, sending black smoke into the sky. Russian forces shelled infrastructure in at least 6 Ukrainian regions on Monday, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said in a statement on Facebook. "That's not all we could have done," Putin said at the televised news conference, indicating more action could follow. Ukrainian officials said energy infrastructure, including hydroelectric dams, was hit, knocking out power, heat, and water supplies. Ola Synhubov, the governor of the northeastern Kharkiv region, said on Telegram that about 140,000 residents were without power after the attacks, including about 50,000 residents of Kharkiv city, the second largest city in Ukraine. Ukraine's military said it had shot down 44 of 50 Russian missiles. But strikes left 80% of Kyiv without running water, authorities said. Ukrainian police said 13 people were injured in the latest attacks. For the past 3 weeks, Russia has attacked Ukrainian civil infrastructure using expensive long-range missiles and cheap Iranian-made suicide drones that fly at a target and detonate. Ukraine's Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said 18 targets, mostly energy infrastructure, were hit in missile and drone strikes on 10 Ukrainian regions on Monday. Commercial vessels, including vessels which are part of Black Sea grain deal, wait to pass the Bosphorus Strait off the shores of Yenikapı during a misty morning in Istanbul, Turkey, October 31, 2022, Reuters. Wheat prices jump. Moscow announced the suspension on Saturday of its role in the grain program after accusing Ukraine of using air and maritime drones to target vessels in the Bay of Sevastopol. It suggested one of the drones may have been launched from a civilian vessel chartered to export food from Ukrainian ports. Ukraine must guarantee that there will be no threats to civilian vessels or to Russian supply vessels, Putin said on Monday, noting that under the terms of the grain deal Russia is responsible for ensuring security. Ukrainian and UN officials said 12 ships carrying grain sailed from Ukrainian ports on Monday despite Moscow's move. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country would continue implementing the program, brokered by the United Nations and Turkey in July and aimed at easing global hunger. "We understand what we offer the world. We offer stability on the food production market," Zelensky told a news conference. He earlier said Moscow was blackmailing the world with hunger. Russia denies that is its aim.